Experience the epic series that the world is watching and raving about. Catch up or relive the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, now on HBO On Demand, and watch back-to-back episodes anytime on your schedule. This year, join the Legion of Followers and enjoy past seasons of Game of Thrones, plus the premiere of Season 4 on April 6th on HBO. Don't miss out. Sign up for HBO and get free access to HBO On Demand.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned in to NB12, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in News, the Minister of National Security says insinuations that the seizure of the F&M chairman's property are politically motivated is foolishness. A man is murdered while walking along a College Garden street late last night. The Chamber of Commerce proposes taking over a crucial government agency. Plus, who will smoke out the competition? We've got those stories and so much more coming up. I'm Paige McCartney, and NB12 Weekend starts right now. Welcome once again to NB12. Days after the leader of the Free National Movement charged that the search warrant executed on the home of party chairman Darren Cash was politically motivated, the Minister of National Security responding, saying the suggestion that the investigation had political undertones is foolish and smells of political mischief. Christina McNeil tells us more.
According to the statement released by Nottage, as National Security Minister, he does not intercede in the operations of the police force, nor with the responsibilities of the Commissioner of Police and his executive team. Nottage says, as trained officers in law enforcement, the police were simply discharging their duties under the law, and the person of Mr. Cash is immaterial to the job of police, as nobody is above the law. On Thursday, police seized 2 laptops and a smartphone from Cash's Cable Beach home as part of an ongoing probe into an alleged leak of confidential information at the Bank of the Bahamas. On Thursday night, F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis accused the government of directing police to carry out a political witch hunt on Cash because of his recent critique of the Bank of the Bahamas. Nottage said in a statement he is not surprised that opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis is becoming known for putting his foot in his mouth. Yesterday, Cash defended his integrity, saying there is not a snowball's chance in hell that he is somehow behind the alleged leak. He added that his wife, who is also a professional, has had her name dragged through the mud in the investigation and speculation surrounding it. Cash noted that his wife works in the Bank of the Bahamas Human Resources Department, and she never had and never would have access to the type of information released to the public. The matter involving Bank of the Bahamas grabbed headlines and national attention over the past several months after the Punch published a series of allegations regarding loans from the bank. Attorney Carl Bethel, who represents Cash, was contacted for comment today. However, he said he will not respond to a minister's political remarks on a legal matter. Rather, Bethel says he will wait on the Attorney General's office to look at the evidence and make a determination. Bethel has filed a notice of originating motion in the Supreme Court, which will begin the process of determining whether the police followed protocol in the execution of their duties. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
Meantime, police are investigating another murder after a 39-year-old father of 2 was shot multiple times by assailants who are still at large. The victim, who has been identified as Alton Thompson, was walking along Zirconia Court with another man when police say they were attacked.
Around 9:15 p.m., 2 men were walking along the street, one of which turned out to be the deceased, when they were approached by a lone gunman who opened fire on them, shooting the deceased multiple times. The deceased succumbed to his injuries on the scene, where he's pronounced dead. And the other man who was with him, he ran off. The assailant ran behind him and shot him. That man was taken to hospital, where he's detained in stable condition.
Police say they have no leads as yet, but say they're combing the island to find the culprits behind the country's 42nd homicide.
We have launched an island-wide manhunt for the person or person responsible for this latest shooting. We know that everything is of urgency to us now. These shootings are happening too frequent. So as a result, police have mounted many operations which are out tonight. And we can rest assured to the Bahamian public that we will capture and arrest these persons and bring them to justice.
And police are also trying to determine why a group of boys attacked a 13-year-old as he was walking along Faith Avenue after 3 p.m. yesterday. Police say the group of boys stabbed the teen with a sharp object before fleeing on foot. The teen is in stable condition in hospital. And the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation has proposed to government that it assist with recovering revenue by putting private sector tactics behind the collection. Chamber CEO Edison Sumner said at the presentation of the 2013-2014 budget, the Chamber proposed to take over the business register for the country with the aim to help better manage the department.
We want the opportunity to be able to look after the business license renewals, look after the business license issuances, etc., being sure that all the businesses who are operating in the country are doing so legitimately, and also looking after squeezing that informal economy, because apart from some of the very blatant operations in the informal economy, there are also quite a number of small businesses who are operating in the economy without a license at all, right? They're not licensed to operate, they can't produce a business license, they're not members of the chamber, etc. So we want to be able to bring some assistance to the government.
The Chamber CEO said preventing revenue leakages in this form is just one way of preventing the implementation of unwanted new taxes. Sumner said while government should be commended for attempting to reclaim some of the more than $485 million in outstanding real property taxes, it won't ever be as aggressive as the private sector in collecting its dues. He said the idea is not to take away the authority of the government over the business community, but rather manage the department with the efficiency of the private sector.
Let us bring some private sector resources to the public sector to assist you in recovering what's outstanding to you by putting some of our own recovery methods in place, right? Because the private sector might have a slightly different way of going after delinquent accounts, and the private sector is usually pretty effective in getting this done. The government has the strength. The government certainly has the influence of the law on their side, but what I think the government has lacked for a very long time was the power of enforcement, right? Meaning that while we understand that there may be a lot of taxes outstanding, etc., no one is taking the time to really go after the taxes, right?
Now, according to Sumner, government has responded favorably to the proposal, but he said discussions are in the early stages. He said the chamber will make some tweaks to its ambitious initial proposition to make another presentation to government for consideration in the next fiscal year.
I think the government might be of the impression that, they don't want to be giving up that level of authority over businesses, and we're not proposing that at all. We're simply saying to them, you need a hand with this, you need assistance with this. Give us the opportunity to assist you with it, and in assisting you, we can assist in getting you more revenue coming in, regularize the business community. Part of that proposal, which was I think a little more ambitious on our part, was saying to the government and to the business community that every business that is registered in the country should be registered through the Chamber of Commerce, right? So that we can monitor them ourselves as well. And that has a lot of implications to it.
And a Wall Street credit ratings agency has confirmed it's not surprising that there has been a decision to delay the implementation of value-added tax, adding that the agency will look at what decision the government makes in concert with other factors before making any decision on whether to downgrade the nation's key credit rating. Dr. Lisa Schindler, lead analyst for the Bahamas for Standard & Poor's, told Guardian Business that the agency will assess the overall fiscal picture and the fiscal plan when it makes a determination on how it will rate the Bahamas later this year.